What's up, y'all? Allie here, Richard here. If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to go hit that subscribe button to stay tapped in with Road Trippin all season long. New episodes, they drop Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you don't want to miss what we have in store. So subscribe, hit that notification bell, tell a friend to tell a friend. Road Trippin is here. We're taking over.
No, stop blaming us for what Perk says.
Rajon Rondo, we're moving on. He went on All the Smoke recently and talked about the death of the point guard position. Take a listen to this.
Rick Pitino said this.
The point guard is totally done in basketball. The days of John Stockton are long gone. There are no more point guards.
Do you think you can win it without someone who is really running the point?
The Thunder just did it, I believe. But for me, I think it's the level of the IQ of the team overall. And then a lot of teams don't have the IQ of the Thunder organization or like the Houston Rockets, you know, with Udoka. I think it's primarily with him, how he's allowing guys and how they're able to understand and execute the game plan. Because a lot of teams that I'm watching and seeing when I'm watching the film, it's like they need a point guard.
You guys agree with Rondo and Pitino?
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And Rondo wouldn't have changed that game for us getting KD the ball because KD didn't want the ball because he was in a torture chamber. Okay, you go back and watch that game. That's number one. He couldn't get the ball. But here's the thing: when I hear comments like that, when I hear comments, Rick Pitino, Rondo, the point guard position is done. I gotta give another round of applause to that light-skinned brother in Golden State with them green eyes.
Damn.
With them green, but no, seriously, because this is why, and Richard, I'm not trying to start an argument, but I really don't give a damn about your feelings on this conversation. This is why I have Steph Curry, the greatest point guard of all time, because he changed the position. He changed the game forever. They don't even exist no more because of the way that he has changed the game of basketball at that position. And Rondo, you know what I'm saying, Rick Pitino, they're right. It's the IQ of the players that's on the team. It's the IQ of an Alex Caruso, right? It's the IQ of an Isaiah Hartenstein, a big that going to stay in his role, right? If you're, hey Rudy, if you see this, because I know you watch a lot of stuff, hopefully you watch this. Hey man, if you want to see what a championship center is supposed to do on both ends of the floor, go watch Isaiah Hartenstein. Never goes outside of his body. If he has a mismatch, guess what? They throw it to him, he goes and does another dribble handoff, rolls, gets his sweet spot, finish at the damn basket. The IQ of the team matters, right? The coach putting them in position matters. So, again, I agree, but shout out to Steph Curry. Every time I hear these comments, it brings me back to why I believe he's the greatest PG of all time. Changed the game for him.
Remember when we talked about the death of the big men and that there were no big men in our league? Then all of a sudden big men showed back up and they dominated. And now big men dominate our league. The league is cyclical, right? There was a stretch there with Steve Nash. There was a stretch there where all the point guards were coming in looking to score. And then the best version of that showed up in Steph, right? So you had the John Walls, you had the 20 and 10 guys, you had the guys that were more traditional, but they're like, instead of them setting up the offense, why aren't they just ahead of the snake? They're starting with the ball anyway. So they made so many guys were just scoring guards. That's why you see so many. But this isn't the first time. Michael Jordan, when their second three-peat, they started Michael Jordan, they started Scottie Pippen, and then Ron Harper. They didn't have a traditional point guard. They ran the triangle offense. So it's like we saw that in the 90s. You can win a championship without point guards, but you've also seen a ton of times where you've seen teams like Toronto won with a point guard and Van Vliet and Kyle Lowry. You've seen, Minnesota win it with Drew Holiday as their point guard. So you've seen the point guard position. Right now, is it evolving? But I would also say, hey, parents, teach your kids how to play point guard. It's an evolving position. It's just there was a basketball IQ standpoint. If you have the team IQ, like the Oklahoma City Thunder, like the Bulls that won a championship, you don't need a point guard because collectively we understand what we're trying to do. But if you don't have that, because not every team is like that, having a point guard is so valuable. You go back and look at everyone was saying who was going to be the point guard for the Phoenix Suns because you had three different shooting guards and they didn't have anyone to distribute. It's not that they needed, but it's just the structure, and they struggled. And then they tried to bring in a point guard. They tried to do stuff the next year, but the first year they struggled. So a point guard's position is still invaluable. They're just not being taught to be the point guards that they were 10, 12 years ago. They're not taught, okay, if he needs a shot, what do you run? If we haven't scored in 3 plays, what do you run? If your center needs a bucket, what do you run? I'm saying that's how the point guard position was taught. And now it's not being taught that way. It's taught pick and roll. It's taught drive. It's taught look for early threes. It's the strategy of the game. Hence why USA basketball is struggling. The game's not taught the right way. So it's like, it's true. The depth of the point guard is accurate, but the way they're teaching the game of just attacking this and not understanding the strategy within it, that's one of the things that young players don't have. They don't understand. Kids are coming into the NBA with 1 year. I had 3 years of Lute Olson. Channing had 4 years of Lute Olson teaching of understanding when to cut, how to cut, why you cut, all these things.
Is that an ability that's taught, or is that something that's...
No, it's taught. It's taught, but we went from teaching kids 18, 19, 20 in college to now having to teach kids 18, 19, 20 in the NBA. Like
I think you know what? I think we should come down. We should just name it playmakers, right? Like, can you evolve as a playmaker? Like, I'm around a whole lot of kids because I'm in the gym working them out every day, but I'm going to my son's games. And I tell a lot of kids, I'm like, okay, hey, look, you want to bring the ball up the floor. Okay, that's cool. You want to be a playmaker, but it's a responsibility that comes with having the ball in your hands, right? It's not just being able to create for yourself, but it's the ability to create for others. So when you point out and you look at a team like OKC, you say they got so many playmakers, right? Like Chet could come in, make a play, big to big pass with him and Isaiah Hartenstein. I just highlighted how great of a passer Isaiah Hartenstein is, right? J-Dub, the one knock, and Shannon, I'll pass it to you, my bad.
Okay.
The one knock the one concern that we had last year was those non-SGA minutes, right? And was J-Dub going to be able to take that leap and controlling that second unit? And what we saw was he was able to take that leap, but it came through repetition, right? It came through repetition. Anthony Edwards, some people say, hey, man, he's too ball dominant. But the one thing I've noticed with Anthony Edwards is that he's taking that leap, right, of making guys around him better. Yes, he takes a lot of shots. His shot volume is high, but he still dished the rock. Austin Reeves, he's top 10 in assists. Like the growth, the development of playmaking. But again, RJ, you right. I was fucking with you, but I was serious at the start of it with the GOAT conversation. I was trying to poke at you. You completely ignored that. But I just
that's called growth. That's called growth.
This is called growth.
No, this is the thing. This is why. I respect Steph too much to engage in that argument anymore.
Okay.
All right, hear me out. Because I got an opportunity to play with Steve for a while, Steve Nash.
Oh, we know.
Back in we know. Thank you for the check. Pay for my house. Look, the problem when you have a true point guard that handles the ball, or like I don't want to say like a Luka because he's a better scorer. When you have a pass-first, smaller guard as a point guard, it is hard to win in the playoffs. It just is. Because they make most of the decisions they are conducting. What's happened over the league
what about
is
Steph?
Wait.
When you have a smaller guard in the postseason, it's hard to win. We have Steph as a smaller
Steph
point
is
guard.
not the point guard. We're saying the
Wait,
same
Steph,
dribbling.
I thought,
When Steph,
He said when you're a pass first.
Okay,
point guard.
I apologize.
Also, when Steph plays point guard, he's top 5 in turnovers. That's why he does not play point guard. This is a fact. When Steph plays point guard as a true point guard, the top of the key where Draymond is, he gets double teamed and turns the ball over. It takes a lot of wear and tear on his body. This is a fact. That's why they put Draymond on there where you can't grab Steph and you run him around. And to Kendrick Perkins' point, Big Perky Lurky, it has changed the game because now you have a guy who can pass the ball. Steph's passing is underrated, where he's not dribbling the air out of the ball. And then you pass to decision makers. So instead of passing to role players, you're passing to decision makers. And that's what makes these teams so dangerous. Again, when you have the biggest guy, Jokic, at the top of the key, then you have Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. going down. You now make decisions. You now pass to decision makers and guys like Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., KCP. So it's harder to guard those guys because they're not just shooters. They can shoot, drive, and pass. So that's how the game has evolved instead of just relying on one person to think for everyone. And this is to just, obviously Rondo's point, I think he makes a good point. Everyone needs to be partly a point guard. Like Hartenstein.
Playmaking.
Yes, playmaking. But you know what his best playmaking is? When he screens, he gets SGA the most open of anybody else in the NBA. When he screens, I think SGA's point per screen is like 1.8 or something crazy to get into a stat, right? So that's his playmaking. And when he gets it, he knows left-hand floater, or he knows dump off to Chet, alley-oop to Chet, or kick to the corner with his left hand. That's playmaking, and that's where the game has evolved, especially when you're playing random offense instead of set plays.
Wait, how's it? Okay, wait. How's it? Okay, really quickly, Channing. How is what they're doing different than what the Bulls were doing without a point guard? Because we talk about the game.
The Bulls had set plays within the triangle offense, right? The Bulls were like,
I don't think
this
OKC
is our play. This is a play we're running.
OKC's not in the flow state.
SGA and them run go. You know what? J-Dub got a bad mismatch. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's say they're playing Minnesota. J-Dub got DiVincenzo on him. We're gonna run a screen and roll with Rudy Gobert. If he's back, that's J-Dub's shot. If he steps up, that's an automatic pass. Or in a triangle, it was Jordan. We're going to get Jordan 25 shots from these 3 or 4 spots. And Scotty's going to get his 15. Everyone else, when they get double teamed, be ready to shoot.
So I'm just saying, Channing, we're agreed. It's a different system. You're saying that because the triangle had a name to it, it was a structure. There's still a structure to what they're doing as far as their movement, their cutting, like what we're doing, what we're trying to attack. Shea's going to get these things. So my only question is, how is what they are doing with 3 big wings, with a Tony Kukoc-like player in Chet Holmgren, with like a big like Luke Longley who's Bill
Weddington?
That's Hartenstein. That's Hartenstein. The triple-headed.
No.
Wait.
No.
The trip.
You're just arguing to argue. That is not true at all, Richard.
Channing, can you let me finish? They had a 3-headed monster.
Crazy.
They had a 3-headed monster at their center. The Bulls had a 3-headed monster at their center. They had 3 bigs that they played. Then they had 2 Kukoc. Then they had Dennis Rodman at their 4. Then they had the 3. Then they had the three big wings.
Dennis Rodman wasn't a playmaker.
But what I'm communicating is this: how is their system without a point guard different than what OKC's? How is it that the Bulls didn't change the game if we're saying OKC changed the game and doing it without a point guard? The Bulls did it I
never said they changed the game.
No. But RJ, the game was played through boxes and elbows then. And it was played, I'm saying, it was played
Yes,
through
but the point guard position was still used to get everybody in order in the boxes and elbows.
Outside of Denver, probably majority of the teams probably run at least 70% pick and roll.
Oh, yeah.
So
Miami doesn't run any anymore. Miami doesn't run. So you're saying
right. They just
now we're just
basketball.
arguing about the same thing over and
No.
over.
Yeah. Nah, I'm not arguing with you.
No, I'm not arguing. I'm saying now we're just talking about it. I'm just talking trash.
but what I'm saying is this. Channing, you brought up a great point because During those
definitely.
runs when I was with the Celtics, Rondo couldn't be a pass first point guard. Rondo had to, because I'm gonna tell you what ended up happening. The Lakers made the adjustment. They put Derek Fisher on Ray Allen. Kobe took Rondo, and you know what they did on every screen and roll? They went under. And we went in the film room, we had to tell Rondo, hey, bro, you got to knock down this 15-footer. So Rondo had to become a scoring point guard in order for us to even win the championship. Even with the Lakers, go check the box score. When he was inserted into that starting lineup, when they was down there in that damn bubble, I believe Rondo probably had a 20
Rondo
piece
was
in
balling.
that game.
But Rondo's one of those dudes.
In that closeout game. So we agree, man.